Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Micro Podcast on Podcasting. I am your host, Christine Blosdale, and today we're going to be talking about how you can make some money with your podcast show. The first thing I want to say is that, like any business, it just depends on how much time you want to put into it. If this is something that you're doing just as a hobby, you probably are not going to make a whole lot of money. But if you put the time and the effort into your podcast show and listen to some of these tips, you might have a wonderful way of generating some extra income. Of course, if you have a large audience, there are ad agencies that you can go through to help you with your sponsorships and advertising. Ad agencies like Midroll, AdvertiseCast, or Archer are just a few of the companies that can help you if you have a large audience. But if you're just starting out, my guess is you're not going to have a huge amount of subscribers. So here are some other ways that you can generate some income. One of the best ways is to communicate with people who have businesses that you know, friends, family, colleagues. Maybe they have a company or a business and they would like to have some great advertising. You can create spots or ad spots during your podcast. They can be short. They can be about 15 seconds if you wish, and you can promote that business. Make sure you mention their website and ask a fee for those spots. In those spots, you can mention them once at the beginning, you can mention them in the middle, you can mention them at the end, you can mention them throughout your podcast, but make sure you charge them something that's appropriate for the size of your audience. Another thing you might want to consider is affiliate sales. Now, affiliate sales is something that if there's a product or a service or something that you really love, and you want to tell the world about it and you want to encourage others to use that product or service, then you can become an affiliate. Let's say there's some techie gizmo that you really love on Amazon and your show is all about techie gizmos. Then you can put links in the show notes, talk about that particular item. And if you're an affiliate, let's say of Amazon, you can make a referral fee from that if people click on that link and purchase it. Utilizing your podcast show as a future webinar or course builder is a brilliant idea. You can use Zoom to record those shows and take each episode as a module. What I'm doing is with these micro podcasts is I'm going to be creating a course on podcasting, and I'm going to be using these micro podcasts as modules in my training course. That way it's already done, you're repurposing it, and you can charge someone a fee to access that course. So just think of your podcast shows, each episode, as a chapter in your course. Or if you want to, you can also think of your podcast episodes as chapters in a book. Take those episodes of your podcast and use it to create that book. It's a wonderful way to repurpose your content, and you could make some money on the side as well by selling your book. My book is Your Amazing Itty Bitty Podcast Book, the top 15 reasons why you need to tap into the power and profits of podcasting. And there's going to be a link in the show notes if you'd like to buy it. Buy it. Of course, one of the most obvious things that you can do with your podcast show is promote the services and products that you have. Now, I want to warn you, don't use your podcast show as an infomercial to just promote you or your business. This is something that a lot of people do, and it'll turn off listeners. The main thing is that you want to provide entertainment, inspiration, motivation, ideas, humor, whatever it is, whatever your genre is, you want to provide that content. But then throughout the podcast, if you like, you can remind the listeners that you are an expert in whatever particular field you are in, and that they can contact you at the website if they want more information. You can also make an offer during your podcast show. Say, for the first 50 people who contact me, I'll give you a free consultation. This is a way that you can promote your business through your podcast show. But again, please don't make your whole podcast show about you. Another fun thing you can do is sell merchandise that is connected to your podcast show. It's great because people can buy, little coffee mugs that promote your podcast. They can get t-shirts, caps, all of that. Now, this way, you're not going to make a whole lot of money, but it's great promotion of your podcast show. And if you use a company like Printful, you don't have to hold any inventory. They make it on demand. They send it out. It is a great, great way to promote your podcast and to have cool merchandise as well. Another thing you want to consider is to join forces. This is one of my favorite things in the world, is to join forces with other podcasters, other experts, and create events. If you are an expert, let's say in social media, and you know of someone who has a podcast show that's an expert in marketing and advertising or public speaking, then you can join forces with that person and create a webinar, let's say on Zoom. You can promote it on your podcast show. So you can create an event either by yourself or with a co-partner or a venture partner. And you can have a half-day seminar or a full-day workshop. Whatever it is that you do, realize that you're an expert. You're an expert in something. And there are people out there that want to gain that information from you. They want to learn from you. Always remember that when you're doing your podcast show. And you always want to think about how you can repurpose your content from your podcast into other things, books, webinars, courses, you name it. This is vitally important when you're creating your podcast. Well, that's all we have time for today. Again, thank you so very much. And if you want more information about me, about my coaching, you can go to ChristineBlosdale.com. That's ChristineBlosdale.com. There'll be a link in the show notes. And thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the Micro Podcast on Podcasting.